one of the easiest and most drawing outreach events ever. Okay, today I want to talk to you about an outreach event. Now, I look at outreach in several different ways. You can look at outreach as events you do on campus, and some people call that come reach because it's like we're reaching, but it's come to see us. There can be events that you do off campus, like going to a trampoline place, like indoor trampoline place or whatever. It could be reaching out to the community and serving in the community. It can also be training your own students that go to your church in how to share their faith with their friends. All of that stuff is outreach. Today, I'm specifically talking about events that you would have on your campus. And this specific event was actually one that an intern of ours suggested, and I was like, I just don't see it. He was so excited about it. He's like, we could do it every week. I'm like, look, I've been in the game long enough. You do something too much, it loses steam. We didn't do it every week, but we did do it a number of times over the years. And I'm telling you, it was super simple to pull off. And students showed up because they love it. It was something easy for our church students to invite their friends to. This is what it was. Maybe you've done it. Maybe you've done something like it, but we call it humans versus zombies. It is basically a Nerf war. So here's how humans versus zombies works. Okay, so what we would do is we would promote the snot out of it. Like we would just get the word out. We would let them know. Now, I had a pretty sweet deal. We had, with the church I was at, we had a thrift shop, and I would tell the guy who was running the thrift shop, keep eyes open for Nerf guns. But I also had a volunteer who had been working in a ministry for years where he was buying up Nerf guns that he owned, and he said, I want to give them to you and to the church. Are you interested? I'm like, of course. So I think we got like 70 or 80 Nerf guns just alone from him. And then we had another 20 or 30 or so. But the thing was, we didn't really have to have all those guns because students brought their own. Now, we would replenish the Nerf bullets over and over again, but because those disappear, and we would find them long time after an event. But we did pretty good in cleanup. So here's how humans versus zombies works. Okay, so everybody has a Nerf gun, and the way you identify a human versus zombie, we used either bandanas or we would take old event T-shirts. And if you are a human, you would have to wear that bandana or old T-shirt around your head. If you're a zombie, you would take that and you would put it on your arm, or the other way around, either way. But that would signify whether you were human or a zombie. The object was to not get tagged by the zombies, but to shoot them with your Nerf gun. Okay, so everybody started off as a human. So everybody had a Nerf gun. They all had their headband, or I think it was on their arm. And we would choose one person to be the alpha zombie who didn't have to get rid of their Nerf gun, but they would actually be able to tag, but you wouldn't know until you got tagged because they were the alpha zombie. Everybody knew there was an alpha zombie. They just didn't know who it was. And we did it one of two ways. One, we had everybody's numbers and we texted out, but usually we would get those tickets that you get 2 tickets of the same number, and we'd pull them. We'd pull a ticket out of the bag, and we would call that number. We'd tell them, don't tell anybody you're the alpha zombie. Then we give everybody 60 seconds to run and hide. Then if you're hiding with the alpha zombie, the chance that means you're going to get tagged and you become a zombie. So when you get tagged by a zombie, you have to go back to the main where we started, put your gun down, switch your bandana off your arm and put it onto your head. And now you're a zombie and you're out tagging. If you, as a zombie, if you get hit, you fall to the floor and count to 10. Then you've got 30 seconds of freedom after that where you can't get shot. But you have to count to 10 out loud, and then you can get back up and tag. If you're human, you're out there trying to make sure you don't get tagged. The more zombies there are, the harder it is. And I'm telling you, controlled chaos is all I can say. That's kind of what middle school ministry, and this worked both for middle school and high school. I think it worked better for middle schoolers, but our high schoolers love this as well. I can't tell you that Will our intern was right. This was a huge hit. I just didn't get it at first, but it was a huge hit, and I've done it several times since. And sometimes it would be that the zombies would overtake the humans, and there would be like, we'd go down to one, it would be the last one tagged. But usually we had to put a time limit on it. It was like 10 minutes. So we could do a whole bunch of these. We do this in 2 hours. We do a whole bunch of them, but we put a 10-minute time limit on it. And then we would go around with a bullhorn or a whistle, or we'd have the sound system set up, and you'd hear music or us calling everybody back. And then the volunteers, we'd also tell our students, pick up bullets as you go by, but our volunteers would run through and they would be picking up bullets in between. They drop the bullets down, and then we would start a whole new round, and we'd see, was there more humans or were there more zombies? And whichever there was most of, that's who won. There was no prizes given away. Then we do another round and pull another ticket out. Sometimes we pull 2 tickets out and have 2 alpha zombies, so they'd split out, and it is so fun. And students love this because they've got their own Nerf guns. They come, they're like, can we, and they, some of them like, can we bring the kind that has like the little round balls? I'm like, yeah, but we're not going to replace those. You're going to lose them. It's not on us. We just say that. And we'd always say, don't take more bullets than you came with. Take what you came with, so that you're not kind of taken from the church or whatever. But we would just replenish those, and you can find them on Amazon for cheap. And if you want to get even cheaper, you can go like Temu or Alibaba or whatever. I'll put a link in the description for bullets for replacement, because you can get like 500 packs or whatever. But this is a great game. And then what I would do always, whenever I've gone through the years, I've kind of gone into different places where they're like, should you always have a message, or can you just have fun and not have to have a message? I've kind of landed in this place, like, I've got a group of students who don't know Jesus. Will they ever be back here? This is an opportunity I have to tell them about Jesus, and also equip our students how to follow up. So I would typically give a gospel presentation, and in that gospel presentation, and in a future episode, I'll go through how I kind of do this full-bodied gospel presentation, and maybe on another episode I'll tell you about how the 911 got involved on that as well. That'll be in one of the upcoming episodes. But I'll give a gospel presentation, and I try to match my gospel presentation, like the kind of the theme of it, with whatever the theme of the event was. So somebody's like, you can't do a message on zombies. I'm like, well, there's a passage in the Old Testament that talks about the dry bones and coming back to life. And I'm like, so I'll talk about, use that, and God gives us life and all that. But I always point back to Jesus and give them an opportunity to respond. Now, here's something I think is really critical. Following up. And if you just have eyes raised or people looking up or whatever, hopefully you catch them, but it's harder to follow up. So I would give out a piece of paper and a pen to everybody. I'm like, even if you've done this 100 times, and you put your name on there, your phone number, your grade, whatever information, and then there's checkbox. Today I said yes to Jesus for the first time. I've already said yes to Jesus. I'm not ready, or I'd like to talk to somebody about this, which is a great way to follow up, especially if they say they want to talk to somebody. That way you can follow up, and you can gather those students together, have them come with their friends and go, hey, we'd like to walk you through kind of what it means to follow after Jesus and disciple them, and not just be a one and done, because I think it's so important. The follow-up is so important. A couple other key things for that specific event. We had music that kind of fit. We would take like Halloweenish music and we'd play that in the background, or just kind of haunting sound, that kind of sound effects playing in the background. When I had the chance, I would put like red lights and blue lights all over. We put like blue and red cellophane type of, I'm talking about, in the lights above in the hallways, and make it as dark as possible, but have some kind of like, make it a little creepy or whatever. And we would, in our different rooms, we would put tables down so you could hide behind the tables, and tell our students not to move furniture, because we did learn the hard way. Students would take a whole bunch of furniture, pile it up, and use that as a hiding space. And then inevitably I would have a talking to, because things got scraped up or bumped or holes in walls or whatever. So help yourself ahead of time and set those barriers up. Now I have if you haven't seen it already, I have an ebook and a free bonus audio book on games, on how to run games and why you should do games, some no prep and low prep games, and 15 best practices of running games, including how to get whoever's leading the games to be ready to explain all of the rules. So you want your leader to be able to explain the rules quickly and then get the game going as quickly as possible, because otherwise you lose them. And all of that stuff is in this ebook. Again, ebook and a companion audiobook that goes alongside of it. Would love to give that to you as a free gift. That is in the description below. And if you have an outreach event that you've done, would you put it in the comments? Let me know. I love learning more. That's why I think you're here checking out what this event was. I would love to hear from you. What is a great outreach event that you've done? And let me know, and we will catch you on the next episode. See ya!